the scenes and the protests in Belfast over the weekend. Taoiseach Simon Harris has voiced his disgust at the tricolour being flown at the protests in Belfast. And between that and the use of the Irish flag, often by some far-right supporters, has the good gone out of the Irish flag? Joe O'Shea, who's the editor of CorkBeo, is with me on the line today. Is the flag being misused, Joe?
It is. It is. We saw the true colours of our patriots, our so-called patriots, or the fake patriots. We saw the true colours over the weekend when they were flying the Irish flag and carrying a banner in the same gang of people that are basically loyalist gangs, including one man who was convicted of murder for kicking a Catholic to death in the street, sectarian murder, blatant sectarian murder. So I think a lot of Irish people were disgusted to see that, and I think it actually it reveals the true colours of these gangs, of these people. Right? In recent months, we've seen our flag wrapped around the shoulders of people throwing bricks at Gardaí. We've seen it wrapped around the shoulders of people cheering the repeated arson of buildings in our communities. We've seen it wrapped around the shoulders of people who scream abuse at people for no other reason than they're not the same colour as them. So I think what we're seeing now, thankfully, with the Olympics, is what we really want to see our flag and our nation represented with the athletes in Paris.
Yeah, it's a funny comparison, all right, Joe. And when you look at the news and see video clips on Twitter or X over the weekend of what was happening in Belfast, and even now as I talk to you in the background, of course, the scenes from the Olympics in Paris and the supporters there, and in the stands with the Irish flag and athletes finishing races and competition, and having it draped over their shoulders and so proud of it. So it has lost its meaning then, is that?
Well, I don't think it's lost its meaning, because I'll tell you what, in Diamond Park tonight in the inner city in Dublin, there'll be families out celebrating the very best of us, Kelly Harrington, a sublimely skillful boxer with a great heart, who's in with a very good chance, and I hope she does, of repeating a gold medal, right? Kelly and those families will be dancing, singing, they'll be cheering on their local girl. That's the kind of thing you want to see in our cities, not what we've been seeing over in the UK, in England, and saw in Plymouth last night, and saw in Bristol, and saw in Southport, and all across, in Hull, and all across these cities. What we see in Diamond Park tonight is the best of us, and the celebration of who we are and what we can be. So I think the flag is being taken back in a good way by the likes of Kelly Harrington.
Michael is with me on the line too. Joe, stay with us if you don't mind for a few moments. Michael, I believe you're a former member of the Defence Forces, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. The Irish flag means different things to different people.
That is correct. I would say, when you ask, has it lost its meaning? I think we have to be careful about some of those who criticise the people on the street today who are protesting and using the flag. Our flag was disgraced for about 30 years in a terrorist campaign in Northern Ireland, of where it was used on the coffins of people who were mass murderers. And so therefore, for those number of years, the flag itself was brought into fierce disgrace. Hopefully, and after the peace negotiations, it kind of got some respectability again. In fact, in the Republic, if you were seen during that period flying the flag, you were considered a part of the organisation that was carrying out the terrorist attacks. So therefore, it has got some back of its meaning. And I think great to see what the flag should be used for in such things like the Olympics and in state ceremonies. That's what it's for, and it's a sense to give people pride in the country and seeing the flag being flown. The flag has been abused by many people on the far left, on the far right, and for many others for many years. It's not something new.
So for you, it's more about, I suppose, when it's used at ceremonial or events or outside maybe state government buildings.
It is something to show with pride, not something to be used or abused for a particular political purpose.
It is funny, Joe. I remember being in Florida, quite close to Georgia, actually, for a number of months, years back, doing a J1. And it was incredibly common to see the American flag fly outside people's homes 365 days of the year. That's not something, Joe, that you see in Ireland. Typically, not now.
It's not, because we have a different society here, and we show our symbols differently. But I just take issue with the person you're talking to there, talking about the far left disgracing our flag. When you ask people about the far left and protests and demonstrations in this country, when did that exactly happen? And what they'll do is they'll talk about the minister getting blocked into her car 5 or 10 years ago, whenever it was, which shouldn't have happened at all. And then they'll struggle to come up with another example of the far left. What we are seeing in our cities is a small minority, but very loud minority, who are totally allied with the EDL, with the far-right British fascists. And in Cork City, there was a demonstration, and there was 2 guys, well-known British fascists, who were walking with these guys, walking with our so-called patriots, right? So it's not a far left, far right thing. It's not a both sides thing. There is no far left in Ireland, really, when it comes to attacking people, burning things down, that kind of stuff. So, to characterise it as a both sides, it's not fair at all.
Do you think people, Michael, fully understand? I understand and I respect you've obviously served a lot of time and worked in the Defence Forces, but do you think most people understand the meaning of the tricolour or the Irish flag?
Well, the original purpose of it, of course, I think, has been lost. And in fact, it is. If you look at it during the Troubles in Northern Ireland, it became a symbol of hatred for half the population up there. And that is something that we, as a nation, should be trying to recover from. And certainly the abuse of the flag by anybody only increases hatred rather than diminishes it. So it's great to see it at the Olympics and to see it in ceremonial occasions. But any other thing of it being used on the streets, of course, does bring the flag into disgrace.
Shelley Cotter is with us. Shelley's a spokesperson for the wives and partners of the Defence Forces. What's your thoughts on this, Shelley?
I think people should remember the actual definition of the tricolour in Ireland is inclusion and aspiration of unity in different traditions in Ireland. The whole purpose of tricolour was created, and it was to try and bring together all these people that we are now talking about. But at the end of the day, I appreciate Paris is going on at the moment, and we've had World Cups and European Cups, but there are thousands of military personnel every single day wearing the tricolour, respect for the tricolour. They represent the tricolour. The tricolour is lifted at dawn, brought down at dusk. Utmost respect is treated to the flag, to the country. We have members, thousands, serving overseas under said tricolour, proud to be Irish, doing peacekeeping personnel, putting their own lives in danger, and we have lost personnel while representing the tricolour. So while, yes, it has been horrific to see it being used the way it's been used, I would also like to point out that maybe people have been buried under a tricolour that should not have been. But now in retrospect, we have veterans who've served 20, 30 years for their country and given their country the vast majority of their working years, who are now no longer allowed the right to be buried under a tricolour because churches have now pulled that because of misuse of the flag. That's horrific for men and women who have done this for their country.
Who served in the Defence Forces.
Correct. My husband's done 32 years. My son is on his 12th. They're career members. They love serving their country. They've served abroad. They worked in Operation Pontus, saving migrants. And my 19-year-old son was abused in his uniform with the flag on his shoulder because of the job he did. So it's a lack of respect and pride for the flag.
Okay.
Not what people forget it represents us all. Absolutely, every last one.
I do think as well it probably means different things to different people, but for you it's about really it's a lack of respect for the Irish flag.
It's a lack of respect for what it stands for. It's all of us, whether you're in the military, whether you're a teacher, whatever you were doing. It's about all different traditions on one island, and you wanting the aspirations, the hopes and the dreams of everybody to be able to represent Ireland in a positive way.
Okay.
But for me in military, absolutely it's a respect thing.
Kieran is on the line. Kieran, you've been listening to the discussion. You got in touch. Do you ever fly the Irish flag?
I do, yeah. I fly out with certain occasion. just as, well, every year I always fly out for the 1916 commemoration. I always put out my flag in respect for the people that served their lives for it.
At your house, is it, Kieran?
At my house there, yeah. I always put it out my window.
Right.
Just as a sort of as a respect for those who fought for the flag. That's been the particular time I fly my flag. Other times I put out the flag would be for special occasions, such as sports occasions, like if Ireland playing the football, or like now I put out the flag for Katie Harrington, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only time the flag should be really hung out for special occasions. But everyone has the right to fly the flag if they want. You know, I think everyone has the right to use the flag the way they want to use it.
What about, though, like, for instance, Simon Harris, the Taoiseach, talking about the Irish flag being flown during the protests over the weekend in Belfast, though?
So every protest in Ireland, the Irish flag was always flown. Even at the war protests years ago, the Irish flag was flown everywhere. So like, it's always a thing with protesters in Dublin and Ireland. Everybody always carries an Irish flag, you know? Just to show that their strength and whatever they want to show for. But I think everyone has the right. I don't think Simon Harris can tell people when to fly the flag or when they should fly the flag. You know, everyone has the right to have the flag. And if they want to wear the flag around them, or if they want to fly the flag at a protest, that's their right. They have the right. That's their flag as well.
There is something there is something that's wrong, though, Kieran, is there not, with the fact? Like, I fully appreciate if somebody wants to go to a protest and they bring the Irish flag with them and they're there and they're protesting and they're voicing their opinion. I think most people would probably say that's fine. If those same protesters are there and they're, you know, firing stuff at the guards, they're trying to kick the crap out of them. There's lots of the different scenes that we've witnessed in parts of Dublin and other areas over the weekend. Is that not a lack of respect if those people have the Irish flag draped over their shoulders?
Yeah, but I saw those video clips online of people throwing stones at the guards. The majority of people that were throwing stones at the guards weren't actually wearing the flag. Maybe some were, when most of them weren't, you know. So they were just wearing their hoodies and a balaclavas, looking like Aegis. But to be honest with you, like, I won't tell anyone what to do with the flag, you know. At the end of the day, if you're Irish or if you are an Irish citizen or whatever sort, you have a right to fly the flag, you know, because that's in my opinion. You have a right to bring it for protest. And Simon Harris, he's not really helping the whole situation, you know, what's going on in Dublin.
Why?
For anything he says, I don't know, I just feel like that he's kind of causing a split in Dublin. He needs to reach him with his government cabinet to help to clamp down on this, to help to get proper information out, because what I've been hearing online and social media and reading the papers and all that, I just feel like the government is not doing enough to tackle this issue. They're not doing enough the fact that they're not saving what Ireland is. Like, they're not doing enough, I don't think. I think they're just trying to say, they're using the word like thuggery and whatever words they want to use.
Jeez, I don't know what else you'd call some of the stuff, Kieran, that went on at protests.
Most of the people at the protest were kids. Kids being like bored during the summer, because the majority of kids, I don't live far from Coolock. I actually live quite near Coolock. And the majority of kids that were at that riot just did it for the heck of fun, taking on the guards, you know. That's what teenagers kind of do. It's always been like that where there's riots going on. Kids will get jumping involved, start throwing stones.
I know, but sure, doesn't make it right, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it does not make it right. It's totally wrong. And I think it's the problem is with communities. There's no leaderships in communities anymore, you know. Like, I actually recently grew up in Ballymoon. I remember years ago in Ballymoon, there was always youth workers around. And like, they would always take us out the blocks away from the flats, stop hanging out with the dealers, and they get us into clubs and activities. You don't see that anymore. You don't see clubs and activities anymore. Like, I remember I can name all the good youth workers at Ballymoon, all the great work they did. Half of them were drug addicts, ex-drug addicts themselves, but they kept us away from all that, you know.
Yeah, the rehabilitation.
You don't see that anymore. You don't see that, like, the Coolock, Ballymoon, ex-converted. I think Simon Harris needs to do that. He needs to put more funding in communities and help, like, teach the young generation that the guards are not the enemy. You know,
yeah, okay, it's a fair point. Fair point, Kieran. Listener here says, seeing flags together is a great thing to stand up for what we believe, both sides of the border. Another listener, anybody has the right to fly the Irish flag. It's everyone's flag. It's not just the government flag. Texter says, what happened to the anti-gang laws? The guards know who the ringleaders are. They should be arrested. What will happen when they scare the foreign workers away? There'll be no staff left in the healthcare system. Another listener says, the disgusting presence of Coolock says no in Belfast. puts paid to the notion that these people are legitimate protesters. They've a cheek to call themselves patriots. The patriots are in Paris right now. The mask slipped so the whole country can see what they're about.